What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Batting Six, the channel where we talk about baseball and the Toronto Blue Jays. If you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'd love to have you guys here all the time talking Blue Jays with me. I'm sorry for the lack of videos over the last 5 or 6 days. I actually got pretty sick. I'm still not feeling the greatest, so hopefully I'm doing a little bit better now to where I can just post almost every single day like I was doing last week. So thank you to all the new subscribers, but again, I'd love to hit 1,000. So if you'd like to and you don't see 1,000 on there, make sure to subscribe. But we need to talk about the recent news of the Toronto Blue Jays. Ben Nicholson-Smith tweeting out like 5 or 6 days ago talking about the Blue Jays outwriting Nick Sandlin off their 40-man roster. Basically, he became a free agent, and I think most people know this by now, but I actually was kind of surprised about this. But as you can see, people in the comments are talking about the fact that he might not be healthy for this season, but the fact that he's going to be a free agent and talking to teams likely, I would think maybe he thinks he's healthy, so I'm not going to deny that. It could be a possibility. Maybe he is completely fine and the Blue Jays just didn't feel like he was a guy that made sense for their bullpen. I actually didn't mind Nick Sandlin in the small sample size that we got him, but if the Blue Jays are big name hunting or looking to revamp that bullpen, maybe they just don't believe he's there. He's got a lot of good swing and miss stuff, but the Blue Jays, again, I guess are just not going after guys like Nick Sandlin. They want to invest in different players or different style of relievers, which brings me to the next tweet. Ben Nicholson-Smith talking about the Raciel Iglesias signing. Heard per sources that the Blue Jays did indeed talk to Raciel Iglesias before he signed with Atlanta, expressing some interest, and the Jays didn't make an offer. Now, this is why I urge people to, have fun with rumors and talk and trades and everything else in free agency, but to also look towards the reporters that you trust the most. And there was all this talk that the Blue Jays made like an offer around $16 million to Raciel Iglesias, and that the Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves, and they were all making offers, and he was choosing what team he wanted to go to. And, there was even people saying that it was between the Dodgers and Jays, and go figure, that was the World Series matchup. I think a lot of people are going to still be using the Jays and teams like the Dodgers for clicks. It's always in the rumor mill. It's always the big name teams like the Jays, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, all the teams that usually spend money. They're always involved in these conversations. And I think a lot of people are definitely using that for clicks. Again, people are going to be like, oh, you make YouTube videos and you're clickbaiting. Trust me, I am not going to be clickbaiting on this channel. For me, I'm posing a lot of things as a question and asking you guys if it's something that could possibly happen. So I love the rumors and I love reading the tweets and the drama, trust me, just as much as anybody else. But when we really unpack it and look at these things, we have to understand that it looks like the Jays really never even made an offer. They were interested, but they never made an offer. So Raciel Iglesias on back to the Atlanta Braves, and Nick Sandlin off to wherever he signs, depending on when you watch this video. So the Blue Jays are still in search of people for that bullpen. Maybe Diaz. I think it's going to be too much money for Edwin Diaz. But again, we'll get to that later. I'm talking a mile a minute right now. But let's slow it down a little bit here, because I actually really like this article, and I think it was Keegan Matheson again. I want to see. I'm actually going to go to the top here. Yeah, Keegan Matheson just does outstanding work. But he brought up something that I think a lot of people should be paying attention to, and he put as the subheading here, 2027 and beyond, money matters. And what I mean by this, and please go read his article, it's on MLB.com, and talking about the Blue Jays' aggressive offseason options. Actually, let's get to the top so you guys can just get this all in for credit for Keegan Matheson. Here's a blueprint for an aggressive Toronto offseason. It's on MLB.com, but I'm sure, again, you can find it off of the Blue Jays website. But he talks a little bit about Tucker and Bichette, but he brings up what I've been really thinking about. And this is where the case for an aggressive offseason really lies. Springer, Gausman, Varsho, Bieber, and Yimi Garcia, who will be back in the bullpen, are free agents after 2026. Barrios has an opt-out. and he's talking about what the Jays could do in regards to trade and free agency. The Toronto Blue Jays definitely are going to have a lot of money coming off the books in 2027. And look, they could go back and re-sign Springer, Gausman, Varsho, and Bieber and Garcia and just bring them all back. But the result here and the matter of it is that they're probably not going to get all those guys back. There's a chance they do. There's a chance they don't. But right now, the Blue Jays have a chance to go out and go, well, Springer and Varsho are going to come off the books. Do we want to keep both? Do we want to re-sign both those guys? Do we want to re-sign both Gausman and Bieber? Do you think Garcia's going to come back? Barrios might opt out. Maybe we should spend some extra money now as like damage control, so that way we don't have to worry about next year and have guys that are on longer term deals, that we don't have to be so aggressive next year, and we can take our time trying to bring back a Gausman and a Varsho, a Bieber, a Springer, whoever they want to bring back, a Garcia. Maybe Barrios opts out, maybe he doesn't, but at least they have that protection net, that balance of like, we have guys that we can keep here and still go out there and bring in other guys too. And what I mean by that is, people are calling the Jays crazy for maybe looking at Bo and Tucker, which I don't think is going to happen. I think you're going to get one or the other, hopefully. But I think the Blue Jays should really spend a lot of money this offseason, not just because I'm a fan, but because they might lose out on a lot of their own talent that they've signed to long-term deals next season, that those deals are now up. So if you can be aggressive and tell Rogers, look, we're going to spend a little bit more this year because we might not spend as much next year because all these guys are coming off the books, they might go, yeah, okay, actually, that makes sense. Spend a bunch of money now, and we can make a whole lot of money this year. Again, go to the postseason and hopefully make a run and win the World Series. And we can just invest that money into keeping some of those guys. They're like Varsho and Garcia and, even Springer, depending on what kind of year he has now, are not going to get those top end free agent deals. But, a guy like Gausman and Shane Bieber probably has a chance to make a lot of money. But those guys might make big money, especially Gausman. But you can really just look at Rogers and go, let us spend this money now, and next year we might bring back some of these guys, but they're not going to be as expensive and successful as some of the guys we are bringing in now, like a Kyle Tucker, a Ranger Suarez and Edwin Diaz. If they do that, maybe they bring in 2 starting pitchers, maybe they bring in a Dylan Cease, and that's something that I wanted to talk about as well, because there has been talk about Dylan Cease. Now, people are comparing him to Robbie Ray, and again, I want to get Nick Ashbourne his credit here. This is where it kind of made me think. I kind of want to pose the question to you guys. When it comes to starting pitching and what the Blue Jays could be looking at, and I want to use this for a future video, which one of these guys makes the most sense that you would really want for Rogers to go out there and be like, let's spend some money, let's go out there and try to bring in top-end starters or relievers? And in this case, we're going to talk about starters. Dylan Cease, 29 years old, last year had a bit of a rough season, 4.55 ERA, had a bunch of control issues. The WAR, I believe, was 1.1. Where is it? Where am I looking here? Why can't I find it? It's probably down here. Yeah, WAR 1.1, wins above replacement. The walk percentage wasn't that good. The K percentage was pretty good, but again, a down year for a guy like Dylan Cease. Would you be interested if the Blue Jays brought him in? He's got actually the history of him. He's kind of been up and down. 3.47 ERA, before that 4.58, before that 2.20, before that 3.91. Like, he's kind of been all over the place, but his command might be the only issue that he has in terms of walks and stuff like that. Could the Blue Jays be a part of, bringing in a guy that gets a lot of swing and miss, strikes out a lot of guys, throws hard, and maybe they can help patch some of those mechanics with guys like Pete Walker and whoever else? Or are you bringing in a guy that's shown a little bit more consistency in Ranger Suarez, 30 years old, around the similar age, But look at the ERA, pretty damn consistent except for this outlier year with the 4.18 ERA. But he has been pretty damn consistent. You can't really look at this 20.25 because he pitched 4 innings. So that he could have pitched 1 inning and had a 0 ERA or 4 innings and 0 ERA. You can't look at those numbers, but very consistent. The WAR, look at the WAR, 4.7, 2.7, 2.4, like just absolutely great numbers. Walk percentage definitely better. The K percentage is a little bit less, but the Blue Jays defense could help a guy like Ranger Suarez as well. He might not need all the swing and miss stuff when the Blue Jays play very well defensively, and again could improve on that in free agency. And the last guy I want to talk about is Tatsuya Imai. This is the guy I really am interested in. 27 years old. He went 10-5 with a 1.92 ERA this season, struck out 178 batters in 163 innings. In his career, he's 58-45 with a 3.15 ERA and 8 seasons with Cebu. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, with 907 strikeouts. He is a 3-time All-Star. I think Tatsuya Imai is fantastic, but beggars can't be choosers. And if the Blue Jays went out and got a Cease, a Suarez, or a Tatsuya Imai, I would be very, very happy. And I want to pose the question to you guys. From everything you heard from me, from everything that we've seen so far, what should the Blue Jays do? Which one of those pitchers are you interested in? Should they try to even get 2 of them? I don't think it's possible depending on what they're going to be spending. They need to upgrade that bullpen as well, but I want you guys to comment. What do you guys think? Throw the ball back to me. I'm throwing it to you. You're going to throw it right back to me. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. This is Batting Sixth, the channel where we talk about the Toronto Blue Jays and have so much fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.